Alrighty then, it is 6:05, so we are going to begin. Well, welcome everyone to our Unleash Your Love online event, Training with Lindy. Thank you so much for coming. As many of you probably know, Unleash Your Love is our largest fundraiser of the year and runs from May 1st through the 31st. If you'd like to know more about our annual campaign, I'm going to put a link in the chat, which will go to where all of the information regarding Unleash Your Love is. I am Carlin Paget. I am Summit Assistance Dogs Community Outreach Coordinator. I work with Lindy to coordinate events and that such. And as most of you know, this is Lindy, and she is our trainer here at Summit. We would like to thank all of our sponsors for today, which include Providence Health Plan, IDEX Health and Science, Darwin's Natural Pet Products, Cambia Health Foundation, Heritage Bank, Land Title and Escrow of Oak Harbor and the Island, Larson Gross, and the Promobile Health Foundation. We're so grateful to our sponsors that help make events like this possible and allow us to create these life-changing partnerships between peoples and dogs. Between people and dogs. As I said, we'll have time for questions at the end, so please put them in the chat. I will record them as we go, and then Lindy can answer them at the end. Lindy, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself for anyone that might be new before we get started with the training?
Yeah. I have been with Summit for I think about 8 years now. And I started off as a volunteer doing the puppy raiser classes at an old business I had in Seattle. And then when I moved off of pet dog training, Summit took me on as a service dog trainer. So I've been doing service dog training with Summit since and have gotten opportunity to work with a lot of retriever types. Mainly, we use a lot of Labradors and some Golden Retriever Lab mixes. And yeah, they've taught me a lot. All labs are not created equal, even though you might think that. I used to think that. But I get to train a lot of fun behaviors. In pet dog world, we might call them tricks. In service dog world, we call them tasks. So all of these tasks that I'm going to talk to you about today and show you, these can all be taught to your pet dogs as well. Or if any of you are training your own service dog, um, I'll show you some ways you can train these behaviors to do that. So today's every year I train something a little different. So I hope I'm not repeating anything from the past, but I decided to go with a theme this year. And the theme is going to be nose targeting because we use nose targeting a whole bunch when training dogs to do tasks. So what a nose target, what I mean by that is where the dog touches their nose to specific things. So, some of those things might include my hand. All of our puppy raisers learn to teach their dogs and their puppies a nose target. So, having the dog touch their nose to the hand. So, I'm going to show you that and ways to use that because every dog should actually learn that behavior. It's very useful. And we also use nose targeting to train automatic door buttons or accessible buttons that are outside of buildings. Here's a different one. So I'm going to show you how we train that. I also use nose targeting to train doing light switches. And let's see, what else do I have here? I train nose targeting to do help buttons. This isn't a help button, but it's very similar to what some of our help buttons look like. So some of our clients have emergency help buttons in their homes and they want their dog to target it if they get into trouble. and that calls for help. We no longer really train a barking behavior to alert. We train the dogs to go hit a help button. Um, let's see here. I'm also going to demo how to train your dog, how to put objects into a bucket or put like their toys away. Believe it or not, I train it. Not every trainer might, but I train it starting with a nose target. And I'll show you how um, I train it that way using a nose target. And hopefully that will surprise some of you. We can also, I thought, I was thinking of all the ways that nose targeting is also used. And some of you might know what these are. Maybe some of you don't. But these are bells that are often hung by the door to teach dogs to let you know. They'll jingle them when they need to go outside. And so you can train that using nose targeting as well. So lots of things, lots of different behaviors use nose targeting. And I would like to start you off by showing you how to start this. So if some of you want to train along, you're welcome to. I think this is getting recorded, so you could also watch it later. And I hope it's helpful to some of you, and I hope it inspires you all with pet dogs to go out and train your dog something new. um, and anyway, so the first behavior I want to show you how to train is the simple hand target, having the dog touch their nose to your hand. And again, most of our puppy raisers in our puppy raiser classes teach this behavior. It helps get the dog nice and close to you. It also helps move the dog around in space. And I will demo that. I'm in my practice chair here, and I have a treat pouch on. So my treat pouch has a variety of kibbles in it, and some low calorie dog treats as well. And I keep this on me when I'm training, or I use a little clicker cup that I learned from a place called Chicken Camp. So I have my treats available. At Summit we do practice what's called positive reinforcement training, meaning when a dog does a behavior that we like, we reinforce it or reward that behavior so the dog repeats it in the hopes that the dog will repeat it again in the future. So every time the one of these dogs does something correctly, you'll hear me say yes. And that tells you that the dog did exactly the behavior that I wanted to see, and they get a paycheck. Their paycheck is not money, it is food because they're Labradors and Labrador mixes. So they appreciate their paycheck in the form of food. Labs also appreciate their paycheck in the form, and most dogs do too, in the form of praise or play. You can also use toys if you don't have a super food motivated dog. You could use tugging, you could use fetch. They just take a little longer to deliver those types of rewards. But the rewards you'll see me use today are food-based, just because of the ease of delivering the reward. So yes tells the dog they did something correct. So listen for me to tell the dog that. And yes tells them that they get their paycheck, their food paycheck. So that's important for you to know as you're watching me do some training. And you'll also hopefully start to see the dog respond to the yeses every time I say yes and repeat that behavior again in the future. They don't always get it right, as they're trying to guess what I want them to do. Some of these behaviors they know, and some of them will be brand new. You get to see a brand new behavior getting trained. I don't know who I'm going to use for what. I'll just pull them out as I see they start to get fatigued. I might pull the another dog out and train with them. So I want to try to keep my training sessions short. They don't have to be super duper long. But the dog will kind of drive, each dog will drive how long the training session will go. So here we go. So for hand target, I have my treat pouch and I have my dog So what I'm gonna do, I did not, usually most dogs will come up and investigate the hand because our hand already smells really great. So I'm just gonna present my hand up right above the dog's nose. So Usher already knows this behavior. But if I'm teaching this to a dog who doesn't know it, then I will put it right above their nose so that they just go to lift their head up, and most dogs will lift their head up trying to sniff your hand. They want to see if there's any food or anything in your hand. So I would start just right here. Yes. And as he lifted his nose up, that is when I'm marking. Yes. Yes. And I'm trying to feed with my other hand. So I'm giving food with my other hand because I don't want the dog licking my hand. I have found that oftentimes if you use the same hand that you use for giving the treat, they will start licking your hand, and that's not the behavior I really want from them. I just want a nose target. Yes. 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 Okay, so I'm going to go through this very quickly because again, Usher knows this behavior and I want you all to see the potential for the behavior. So now that I have him really doing well, repeatedly lifting his nose and touching my hand, I'm going to start moving my hand around in space because oftentimes I use this behavior as a way to teach the dog to move them around. I want them to move around in space without physically having to grab their collar. I just want to be able to move my hand to get them to move. Yes. Yes. So I want to see if he'll follow my hand. Yes. And target wherever I put it. And then I might stick it out to the side. Yes. And see if he comes and touches it over the side. Yes. Good job. Yes. Good. Yes. Good job. All right. So if I wanted to move him, say, beside me, I'm going to take my hand target, which now he knows how to follow, and just guide him with my hand. Yes. Again, I'm marking when he touches my hand. Yes. So another way to use this behavior is also for recall, which is coming when called or getting the dog to come close to you. Sometimes we say come too many times and our dogs are like, I don't want to, I have better things to do. I'm not interested right now. So it's a good idea to train a backup recall, especially if you're a person who tends to overuse come without following through with a reward every time. Um, so I use it by, I use my hand target to get my dog to come close to me. So I might put Usher over at a distance here. Usher, let's go. Here we go. Here. Sit. Stay. Good. So here. Yes. So that's how I could use it to get the dog to come close to me. All right. So there is here. I don't think there will be any questions on here, but if there are, I'm open to taking them now.
Yep, I don't think we have any
Okay,
questions
good.
on here right
Straightforward.
now.
Alrighty. So once the dog has learned to use their nose to touch your hand, it's a good foundation step to learning these kind of other behaviors. So next up, I'm going to show you guys, I want the dog to learn how to push doors and drawers closed. And my favorite tool for this is either blue painter's tape because you can stick it on a lot of different things and it peels off easily, so you don't have to worry about the adhesive sticking to your furniture. The other thing you could use if blue tape is too hard, um, which it could be for novice dogs who are not used to being shaped, blue tape might not be obvious enough to them. These dogs have done a lot of training since they were young. So learning when I present something new in their environment comes easily to them, and usually it stands out and they start trying to interact and engage with the object. But that won't be for all pet dogs who are not used to it. So if you have a piece of tape, which I'll show you how to use, and that's not working, another thing I would suggest you work with and use is like a plastic lid of some sort. This is just a can saver lid. So Vilko is very upset that he is not the one getting worked with. So um, okay, so I'm going to start with a plastic lid with Usher and show you how to use that. I attached a piece of duct tape to the back of it because it's very strong adhesive. Blue painter's tape will not hold up very well to dog slobber if your dog tends to be slobbery. So anyways, I'm going to use a stickier tape. Um, First, what you want to do, see how I made a little like tape glove for my fingers to hold it. And the way I start this, and if you don't have tape, you can also hold it like this. So I try to get my hand out of it as much as possible, especially since now the dogs are used to targeting the palm of my hand. Now I want them to learn to only target this nose target. And it will make more sense of how to use this for push training and button training as we go along. So hang in there with me so I can show you. But I'm going to train him just to nose target this the same way I would train him to nose target my hand. So I'm going to start this right above his head, right above his nose. Yes. And when he goes to sniff it, reward. Because most dogs will come up and investigate a lid. Yes. 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 So he's seeking it out already. Again, he knows this. Yes. So be patient with your own dog. Yes. Yes. He's doing very well targeting the lid. Yes. Oh, he tried grabbing it. That's okay. He might think it's something he needs to retrieve. Yes. So I'll just go back to holding it above his nose. If he tries biting it or licking it, keep it up high, and that will prevent them from biting or licking, hopefully. Yes. All right. So now I'm going to keep this a little more stationary in my hand. I want him to start seeking this out. I might even, oh, the drool is starting up. I might even start giving it a cue. I'm going to call it touch. Usher is a drooler. so, um, so the verbal cue for this is touch. Like having this out visually is also a cue to him to touch his nose to it. But eventually, when I place this on like a drawer or a door, then I'm going to want to have a verbal cue to tell him to go touch his nose to it as it's stuck on something. So I'm going to present the cue right before I present the lid here. Touch. Yes. Touch. Yes. So he's trying to bite it again. So I'm going to put it a little closer to his nose. Yes. Good. Touch. Yes. Touch. Yes. Touch. Yes. That was a strong touch. Touch. Yes. Good. Every time I say yes, he gets a piece of kibble. So that keeps him from getting too round. Okay. So he did very well touching this. The next step is to stick it at nose height to whatever eventually you want them to push. So you all get to go on a ride with me while I move my computer so you can see something we can push. There we go. We have a drawer. I'm going to move myself around. Okay, Usher. I need you to come this way, here. So I just used hand target here. to get him around the wheelchair and around the computer. All right, so he is very used to touching this. You just slimed my computer. And now I'm going to put it at nose level, stuck to here. But right when I stick it on there, I want to be ready to mark him for going to sniff it. Okay, so that's the biggest thing. Okay, so I'm going to stick it there. All right. And then I'm going to look at it. And if he's a little confused, you could point to it. Yes. If your dog gets a little confused, you can point to it too. I don't want them to get stuck. Yes, stuck on a point forever, because some of our clients won't physically be able to point, and I want to put it on verbal cue only. Touch. Yes. But if your dog is a little confused again, you can say touch and then point to it. Touch. Yes. I'm rewarding him. There we go. I got to make sure you'll touch and see on the screen. Touch. Yes. Touch. Yes. Touch. Yes. I was able to fade out my pointer finger. Touch. Hopefully. Yes. Good boy. Touch. Yes. Good. All right. So we have, while I talk, I'm going to remove my little target so he's not behind me just whapping this down. Good boy. So the next part, now that I have a dog who is readily targeting this little piece of lid, I want to start adding in a push behavior. So I'm going to use a very easy drawer, preferably a non-soft close drawer. I like the drawers that make an actual sound when they're closed. So, and that kind of acts as a mark for the dog, like a click. So when they hear that, they know they've accomplished pushing it closed enough. So many people make the mistake of opening up the drawer way too wide and asking too much of their dog too fast. He's already trying to do it. So what you really want to do, what I found to be the most helpful, is to barely have the drawer open, just so it moves just a little bit. You want the dog to be successful as fast as possible and hear that sound to create a nice strong push. I want a strong push because if I want them to do something like automatic door button, some of those buttons are very finicky and require a dog to really smash them and push them to get them to activate. Okay, so I'm going to open this just a little bit. I'm going to say, move my training props. Touch. Yes. And I don't know if you all in virtual land can even hear the drawer be closing, but it is. It's making a sound. Touch. Yes. Touch. Good. Good boy. Touch. Yes. Boy. All right. So I'm going to open it a little wider since he's being very successful pushing that closed. Touch. Yes. All right. I'm getting the push behavior, and I don't always want my touch to be touch for push behavior. I want it to be push. So next, what I might do is try fading out my target and seeing if he can repeat that same behavior without the nose target. Touch, push. Yes. So he kind of pushed wherever, but he did do a behavior close to what I wanted, so I'm marking that. Push. Yes. Good. My new cue is going to be push. If he has trouble with that, I might say touch, even though I don't have my target there. We'll see what he does. Push. Yes. I'm trying to feed him away from it to set him up for his next repetition. Push. And while he's eating, yes, I am opening the drawer a little bit farther. Out. Go. Push. Yes. He has big jowls, so you're really chewing his food here. Push. Yes. Good. Okay, I'm going to open it all the way out. Push. Open. There's a jam. Push. I don't know if he physically can. I think I got jammed up in here. There we go. My training drawer. Yes. Good. Very good. Okay. So there was an example of how to train with a lid target. I might give him a little break here and get Velko out, who's been so eager.
Well done, Usher.
Okay, so Velko's gonna be our next demo dog.
So Lindy, while
Yes.
we have a second,
Yep.
Tracy has a question and is what is the most challenging task for you to train?
Hmm.
Or does it vary with the dog?
It can vary, but usually it's loose leash walking. That's usually my go-to. It's none of these tasking behaviors. They're all pretty okay to train, but the behavior that takes the longest for to train in general is loose leash walking. I should put the caveat in any environment, in any and all environments for service dogs. So for those of you struggling with loose leash walking, our puppy racers start it, and they start it by rewarding the dog for walking next to them with a J in their leash, meaning the leash has some slack in it or is a loose leash. And that can take a long time because dogs are so rewarded by so many things in the environment, right? Um, and dogs are built to smell. So trying to teach them that it's more reinforcing to walk slowly beside the human can be challenging. But if you use the right type of rewards for the dog that you have, you can definitely get there. So keep trying. We also use some management tools as well, like buddy harnesses and head collars to help us get appropriate walking behavior. But I would say that's the hardest because it takes the longest and the most work um, in walking so many different environments. But it's easier if you start early on. I'm sure I could think of other behaviors too at some point. If they pop in my head, I'll let y'all know. But I think that takes the longest and is the most challenging, especially when you're walking on nature trails. Okay, so blue tape. You can use this the exact same way that I used the plastic lid. I like the blue tape because sometimes with dogs who um, you need to slowly fade the tape out, like I kind of just removed that plastic lid and Usher did the behavior great. That's because we've worked on this several repetitions. Don't expect your dogs at home to do all of those steps right away. You might have to take several sessions of repeating just nose targeting the lid in your hand and then eventually moving it and sticking it to somewhere else. It's helpful for demonstrating that these dogs already know it. They can move a lot faster. But the great thing with the tape is I can make it smaller to be able to fade it out easily and smaller and smaller. And I can put it all over the house. And sometimes they are. I also like the blue tape for using the blue tape because I can stick it and say there's a door and I want the dog to push the door in a very specific spot. The blue tape, I might keep that blue tape on that appliance for quite a while the dog just gets used to pushing that appliance door drawer closed. over and over and over. And eventually you can remove the blue tape because they learn the context of the situation. So they learn like, oh, with Lindy's dishwasher, I want them to learn to push the very top of the dishwasher when it's all the way down and fold it out, like pretend you're putting dishes in the dishwasher, right? I put the blue tape right at the top of the dishwasher door so that when they dive under it, somebody's getting excited. When they dive under the dishwasher door, they can use their nose to kind of flip up the lid. So I want them targeting a very specific spot on the dishwasher uh, door. But anyways, okay, so I'm going to show you another demo using the photo. I got to set you all up. So we'll use my mini fridge. There we go, mini fridge. And it opens this way. So I want the dogs most of the time to push doors closed. It can be at nose level, but I want it closer to the edge here because if they started to learn to push it way over here by the hinges, it would take them a lot longer to close it. It's not as efficient. So where a dog pushes matters. So I want them to learn to push right here. And some refrigerators, right? So our dogs learn to push normal refrigerator doors closed. And some I just have them target the handle, and sometimes they just push on the handle. So that works too. All right, Velcro here. So here I am again using my hand target to get the dog nice and close to me. Good boy. All right, we'll see if he remembers. I do have blue tape up. He hasn't necessarily pushed this one closed before. So I'm going to go back to using that touch cue to let him know I want him to nose target this, and I might also point to it. So Velcro here, need you to stand up. Touch. Yes. And I'm going to reinforce a way to set him up for the next repetition. Good. Touch. Yes. And that time he didn't necessarily touch it all the way, but he was on his way to touching it, and I marked a little early. That's okay. That's okay for you at home to mark a little early because their thought is, I'm going to touch that, right? So you want to mark when they're thinking what they need to do. Touch. Yes. Touch. Yes. Touch. Yes. Good. Okay, I'm going to make this a little smaller. So we're going to say, oh, I don't really want blue tape hanging out on my refrigerator forever. Maybe I'll just make the blue tape a little smaller so we can fade it out eventually. Here we go. Touch. Yes. Touch. Yes. I'll move my position. I don't know if you all can see. Maybe you can see. Touch. Yes. Good boy. Good. Okay. Then I'm going to do like the same thing that I did with my drawer. And I'm just going to open it just a little bit. Just a little bit. Push, touch, yes. Just a little bit, open just a little bit. Push, touch, yes. So I'm trying to insert my new cue, push, and get eventually fade out touch. Push, touch, yes. I'm just gonna say push. Push, yes. Good, okay. So I put money, he's been very reliably pushing this blue tape hard enough. So I'm just going to open it just a little bit, give my cue, and see if he'll do the behavior that he's been rehearsing over and over. Push, touch, yes. Good. I don't need my touch cue anymore. Push, yes. Good. Push, yes. There we go. And now each time I'm going to be opening the fridge a little wider. Push. Good. Okay. So I think that's enough. You all get the the idea, I hope. Okay. So let's see here. The next thing I want to show you all are target sticks. So I have a variety of target sticks. Um, some have been chomped on, but some are soft. I don't know who chomped on that or what happened there, but oh well, life training dogs. This target stick is very nifty and it extends out. So it's like an extension of my hand. If I can't reach or a client can't reach something, they can use this to pinpoint exactly what they want. Um, Velco's person requested that he would like a dog to be able to push an elevator button. And I'm like, okay, they can definitely do elevator buttons. And he also said, when I'm inside the elevator and I want to go to floor 8 out of 12 floors. Now I had to pause a bit and be like, okay, how am I going to do this? Right? And there's different ways people train the dogs to do elevator buttons, but I'm going to choose to use a target stick and have him use a target stick and extend it out and point to the elevator button he wants Velco to do. And then this will tell Velco which button to push inside the elevator. And I did take some video, but I don't have time to post it on here. So, shameless plug, you're gonna have to go to our like social media and I'll have Carlin post it. So remind me to send it to you, Carlin. So if anybody watching wants to see how that's done, I took some video today of Velco pushing elevator buttons to
Wonderful.
get
Look
a
at Lindy
specific.
go. Social media guru over
Yeah,
here.
yeah. Okay, so I'm going to show you a little bit how I train that. And that involves several pieces of blue tape to be my elevator buttons. And let's see here. You'll see me put them. Let's do them on the fridge, I guess. Or we can do it on the wall. Should have pre-planned. I'm just going to line up. So what I'm doing, these are my little buttons. They're not very pretty because it's just demo purposes, right? Okay. Next, I'm going to use my target stick here to point to what I want him to ding. And he's just going to use his nose to target the end of the stick here. And I trained that exactly the same way that I trained all the other nose targeting behaviors. Velco, let's demo. Touch. Yes. So anytime he approaches the very end here, yes, I mark and tell him that's exactly right. Yes. So you can start by doing the same thing. You could start this by holding it right above the dog's nose, which is what I did. Yes. And when they lift up to sniff it, that's when you're marking. Yes. Next, I wanted him to follow the target. Yes, just like my hand. And since he's so used to already being trained to follow a hand, he learned this one very quickly. Yes. To follow the little ball at the end. Yes, good. Okay, so now we have a dog that does that. So now I'm going to keep it kind of short. Yes, and have him follow the nose target to the button that I want him to hit. Yes. There we go. Yes. Good. Yes. I'm going to make it a little longer and go a little further away. Touch. Good. And I don't think this here, you can't hear the click on Zoom, but we also use clickers, the little noise box I don't know. Can you hear that?
We can hear that, Lindy.
Oh, that's good. In the past, it hasn't, you couldn't hear the sound.
The
So
blue
I,
one, the blue one actually is louder.
that one?
Yeah.
Wow, cool. Okay. So anyways, you might hear me click just out of just because I'm just used to using a click. The click is the same thing as yes. It means the same to the dog. Sometimes I use yes, sometimes I use a click. When I lose my clicker, I'll use a yes. So anyways, I might say both just for as I click, I might say yes just so you guys can hear, but if I forget to say yes, know that I'm clicking when he gets something right. Touch. And with every click, gets a treat. Same thing. Touch. Good. Touch. Good. Good job. Good. Anyways, so there you go. There's nose targeting for eventual elevator buttons. Um, Same with automatic door buttons. Guess what I do? Guess what I use? This was a trivia show. So blue tape is also great because as a dog trainer, I might carry this around with me everywhere I go. And then if a dog looks a little confused about hitting an automatic door button or an accessible button here, I just stick some blue tape to it because they've learned what that means. So I am lucky enough to have a training board. We call it the button board. Yes, I can put you guys all back up here. Ooh, is it a wild ride? Watching my demos or what? All right. So I'm again, he's already learned what this means, right? So I'm gonna hold it really close to him or have him come really close. Touch. Use my same touch cue and reward him for touching it. Touch. Yes. Touch. Yes. And eventually this cue will be called button. So once I get a dog who is really forcefully pushing this, I'm going to start calling it button, push, button, push. Good boy. And repeating that. And then I might then start moving the button board a little higher or hang it on a wall or something to make it a little higher. So because those buttons out there, they're all over the place. Sometimes they're really high, sometimes they're dog nose level, sometimes they have planters in front of them. So the dog has to try to go around a planter to get to them. But we want the dog seeking out these buttons. And this is how we start it with a nose target. So sometimes dogs start to use their feet, but I really prefer to train them using their nose just so they don't start scratching up business walls and stuff like that. Okay. So there's a button. And then there's just so much to show you. I think what I'll do, because I'm so good at talking, and I wanted to show you how to, I think this would maybe interest some of you, seeing how I train a dog to put objects into a bucket using nose targeting. So I hope this is interesting, because who doesn't want their dog to put things away, right? Especially when they get them all out. Let's see here. I think I'm just going to point this down. Move the chair. These are my other target sticks. Don't need those anymore. All right, so here's the next target I'm going to use. And I'm going to have the dog learn to nose target this. And then I'm going to slowly start moving this into the bucket. So this type of training is what I'm doing is going backwards in a sequence. So also known as back chaining. So I'm teaching Velco, who hasn't done this yet. So we'll see, hopefully it goes well. It's a new training plan for me, but I've done it with other dogs. So Anyways, he'll nose target this, and I'm gonna start moving it in here. But the final sequence of putting toys away into a basket is taking the item and dropping it in there, right? But there's several behaviors involved with putting toys away, like walking over to the toy, picking the toy up with their mouth, holding the toy while they walk back over to the bucket or the laundry basket, then putting their head in the bucket or laundry basket, then dropping the toy. So I'm doing the very end of that to start with, and then I'm going to tack on all the other behaviors. Luckily, he already knows he's exhausted. Luckily, he already knows how to do retrievals. So I think that was in a previous video back in 2020 or 2021. I don't know. You'll have to go back to previous videos or I'll do that next year. But anyways, so we'll have no star get this if he's not too tired. Touch. Yes. Good. Touch. Yes. Come in bucket. Yes. Touch. Yes. And eventually the cue that I like to use for this is put it in. Touch. Yes. Touch. Yes. And every time notice I'm slowly moving it towards my pail here. Yes. Yes. Because I want him putting his head into the bucket. Yes. And eventually with the object. Yes. Yes. Okay, I'm dropping it in the bucket. Now I'm going to mark and reward him putting his head, trying to nose target the thing, the lid, or it's actually a Frisbee. Yes, a small Frisbee. Yes. 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 All right, he's getting pretty reliable about putting his head in the bucket. Yes. So I'm getting my end behavior here pretty well. Yes. Yes. I'm going to start calling this put it in. Put it in. Yes. Put it in. Yes. Put it in. Yes. And you'll see where this is going. I just have to make sure he's understanding, putting his head in the bucket. Put it in. Yes. Put it in. Yes. Okay. All right, we're going to add something he knows how to hold. I'm going to use a small dumbbell. This is the first thing we teach them to, when we teach them to hold and do retrievals. We use a dumbbell. So I have a wooden dumbbell here. And I'm going to hold it right above. I'm going to have him take it and hold right above the bucket here and say, put it in. Yes. Well, look at that. Good boy. Hold. Put it in. Yes. Hold. Put it in. Yes. Good. So if the dog, most of your pet dogs would probably easily drop it. Sometimes if a dog has a well-trained hold, they don't want to drop it or they don't know to drop it. So you'll just have to, what teaches them to drop the object is yes, and repeating that because they learn that yes equals a treat, so they may as well release the thing to come get the treat. Then they start pairing, they start making that association that the human wants the thing to fall into the pail or the bucket. Eventually, we use this behavior for trash cans too that have open faces on them. So the dog learns paws up, which is in a previous video. Paws up and then holding the object, they then put it into the trash can. It's the same thing. It's just an added paws up behavior, but I pretty much teach it the same as this. All right, put it in. So he's a little confused because I did some talking. So I might point, put it in. And that's okay if you didn't get it right. We'll just set him up to be a little more successful this time. Put it in. Yes. Good. Put it in. And so I waited for him to drop it before marking that time. All right, I'm gonna hold it a little farther away to see if he'll actually walk over to the bucket. This is moving very fast, but he's got it. Smart dog. Let him chew his food. Hold it a little farther. Put it in. Yes, good boy. Hold it a little farther. Put it in. Yes, good boy. Now I might move my body a little bit. See if he's again searches for that bucket. Put it in. Yes, good. That was very deliberate. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to put it on the floor. Get it. Put it in. Yes. Good boy. This dog's a genius. I guess I should end on a positive there, although I do want to keep going so bad. Because that was very successful for a brand new behavior from Velco there. But I hope that was a good demo of one way to train a dog to put objects into buckets. Okay, so I've talked a lot.
Did
Carla,
so well.
do we have any questions before we wrap up here?
Yes, please put your questions in the chat.
And if not, that's fine. I can also do more bucket put it ins because that made me really excited. I want to keep training. You'll be with me here all night.
So it looks like I'm not seeing any questions right now, Lindy.
Okay, that's fine. All right. Um, let's see here. I might then move to trying, just since we have about like, I don't know, 5 more minutes. I gave Vilko a little bit of break by talking to you all here. So I'm going to mix up the objects now and see if he will put various objects into the bucket. I think that will be fun for me. Hopefully for you all, I don't know. Let's
See how he
see.
does.
We'll see how he does. I truly don't know. This is brand new. So, but he seems to be grasping the concept pretty well. Let's see. I have a cell phone, and this is kind of funny. Let's see. A little cardboard roll. Okay. So we'll try the cell phone. Hold. Put it in. Yes. Get it. Put it in. Yes. Yeah. Put it in. Yes. Good. I'm going to move the bucket around to see if he'll find the bucket a little farther away from me here. Get it. Put it in. It's all the way over there. I know it's a little different. Put it in. Yes. Good. So I had to help him out there. That's okay. I moved the bucket pretty far away for a brand new behavior, but he's gonna, oh, now he got it back out. Get it. Put it in. Yes. Good boy. Get it. Get it. Put it in. Yes. Should we try with a toy?
Yeah, try with a toy.
I think we should try with a toy because toys are going to be high value and he might parade around with it or he might put it in.
You've got 60 seconds, Lindy. Go, go, go.
Can he do it? Can he put his toys away? All right, here we go. Put it in. He ran away with it. Oh no. Yes. Put it in. Yes. Good. And then he's gonna get back up. How about a llama? Get it. Put it in. Thank you. Sometimes when there's a squeaker involved, they lose their mind a little bit. Put it in. Put it in. So this I just learned is too high value as he's just learning this behavior, right? So he would rather play with this than stick with the task of putting it in the bucket. So I would need to go back to something a little less rewarding than the llama, like maybe the Christmas tree, although this was pretty fun too. But if your dog is too distracted, use something that's already been out in the environment that's less high value when you're trying to train them something new. Uh, but anyways, I hope all that was fun and helpful and that you all give it a go at home and send me an email if you do. I'd be curious if you use any of that information to train your dog to do something fun. So anyways, unless there's any other questions, happy to answer. Otherwise, we'll see you next time, or maybe I'll see you in puppy raiser classes.
Yes, thank you so much, everyone, for coming. This entire session will be posted to our YouTube, Summit Assistance Dogs. If there are any burning questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Lindy, is it okay if I put your email as well?
Yep.
I'll also put Lindy's email in the chat. If you have any burning training questions, feel free to send them her way. And thank you all so much for joining us for this lovely, unique Unleash Your Love special virtual event.
Yay. Yay, Velco and Usher.
Yay, Valco and Usher.
Awesome.
Alrighty, I think we're going to end it here. Everyone have a wonderful evening.
Oh, I like seeing the little. Oh, hi, Morty. Oh, good.
Now it's just us.
All right. End recording.
Yes, how do I?